Hello everybody and welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to create your midterm mastery analysis. So this is an assignment, this will be the first assignment that's due for quarter 2. And basically what this is going to do is help you break down and see which units you really struggled on your midterm. And then it's going to help us see which units you actually mastered the content. Now, when we say that you have achieved mastery of content, that means you have achieved an 80% or above on an assessment. So overall, if you made at least an 80 on your midterm, that means that you have mastered the content. And if you made anything less than an 80, it means that you have not reached mastery. So we have some work to do as we move forward in order to re-loop kind of just the concepts that we've been over, so that when you get to your final exam, you will, be prepared to take that. So this document is linked in your assignment for your midterm mastery analysis. So you should have made a copy of this, and I'm going to show you pretty much, I'm going to go ahead and make a copy of this one here actually, because this is the master. So I'm going to make a copy of this really quick. Yours will already be copied over when you click on it, because that's how we typically give it to you guys, to where it forces you to make a copy automatically. So you will pull this up. So you're going to submit 2 things for this. We're going to complete this sheet, and then when we get done with this sheet, at the bottom there's going to be a Google form where you put all of your information in. This information is going to be really important because it's going to allow myself as well as the other earth science teachers to really be able to analyze the data from this midterm and see what's going well and what's not going so well. So basically, we are just going to do some calculations. They're not difficult. I'm going to take you through step by step, and if you follow this video as we go through it, you should be a-okay. So basically, this is just broken down for mastery. Hold on, let me get rid of this because this was a previous example I did. So it breaks it down unit by unit. So your midterm was 35 questions. The first 10 came from Unit 1, Astronomy. 11 through 20 were from your Plate Tectonics. 21 through 30 was from Unit 3, which was your Rock Cycle. And then 31 through 35, we just had 5 questions, and those were from our Water unit. So what we are going to do here is just calculate the percentages for mastery for the overall grade, and then also our concepts. So what you need to do in order to complete this is pull up your midterm. So you will be able to go back into your quizzes tab. You can also go back to where I've linked your midterm in multiple places at this point, and you pull it up and you'll be able to see it. So I have this one in a different window, so I'm going to pull this up. So here is my practice midterm, my attempt that I did. So again, when you scroll down, it shows you everything that you have missed on your test, and it gives you your score, and then as you scroll down, it will also show you the questions that you missed. So the first thing we want to do in our mastery analysis is calculate our overall percentage. Now, if you go into Power School, your percentage might be a little bit higher, because if you got anything less than a 50 on your midterm, I just went ahead and gave you a 50. So for this mastery analysis, you need to do the one that's in Power School, or you need to do the one that's in Canvas, not in Power School. So use the score that Canvas gives you, not the score that I gave you in Power School, because if I bumped you up to a 50 and you didn't actually make a 50, then that data would be useless, because I need to know what you actually made. So here we have, on my attempt, I got a 29 out of 35. So obviously I missed some questions on purpose so that I could show you guys kind of what's going on here. So we got 29 out of 35. So we're going to go back to our midterm mastery analysis sheet. Exit out of that really quick. And for here, it wants to know our overall exam grade. So for our percent mastery, we have to take our number that we got correct, divide it by the total number of questions for the objective, and then we multiply that by 100% to get our percent mastery. Okay, so we're going to do it for the overall test, and then we're going to break it down by units. So for this first one here, there were 35 total questions on our midterm. That's where this number comes from. And right here, we're going to put how many we got right. Again, you're pulling this directly from your test. So we got 20 9 questions right, and then we're going to divide that by 35 and we're going to multiply it by 100. And by the way, this is how you always can get your percentages on your quizzes. So if you ever want to know what out of points converts to your percentages, this is what you can do to get that. So now I'm going to need to calculate this. Obviously, you guys have calculators on your phones. You can use those, but you also should have a calculator on your Chromebooks. If you just search for it, it should pop up. So we are doing 29 divided by 35. And that gives us our decimal, but then we need to multiply it by 100%. Which gives us 82.857142, a long number. You guys can round up to the nearest tenth. So like this is 82.5. If we follow our rounding rules, this 8 is above a 5, so I'm going to round him to 83, okay? So I'm going to say that my overall percentage, because that's how I would do for your grades anyway, I would round it up to the nearest whole. So your percentage here is an 83. So that means I mastered the content overall on this midterm exam because I got above an 80. So we would say, yes, I mastered. So if you got anything below an 80, that means you did not achieve mastery, which means we've got some review work to do before your final exam. So now that we've done the first part, we need to break it down and do the other part. So I'm just going to show you how to do the first part, and then you just need to follow the same process for all of the other units. So I'm going to show you how to do unit 1, and then you just apply that same concept to unit 2, 3, and 4. So the first thing we need to do is figure out how many questions we had in unit 1, and there were 10. So we're going to put the 10 on the bottom of our equation right here of our division because there's 10, so we're going to take whatever we got correct and we're going to divide it by 10 because there's 10 total questions for this unit. Okay, so I'm going to go back into my test, and what I'm actually going to do is split the screen for you guys really quick, so this would actually make it a little bit easier to do this particular assignment. So what I'm going to do is pull up the test. I'm going to minimize this really quick. There we go. So let me pull up this other window. All right, so now I have them side by side and I can see them. So what I'm going to do, the first thing we want to do is just go through the first 10 questions because that's the numbers that we're looking at for Unit 1. And we're going to highlight any questions that we missed, okay? And remember, they're flagged in your test. So we've got question 1. Question 2 we got correct. We missed question 3. So what I'm going to do is highlight question 3. And I'm going to highlight it with whatever color you want. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do this blue color. Okay, so I missed question 3. So I'm going to come back to my test. I got question 4 correct. I missed question 5. I'm going to highlight question 5 because I missed it. Okay, and then I'm going to keep scrolling. I got 6 correct. I got 7 correct. 8 was right. 9 was right. And then 10 was correct. Okay, perfect. So I missed 2 questions out of the first 10 of the exam. So we have highlighted the ones that we got incorrect. Now we need to count how many we got right. So we're counting how many we did not highlight. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 correct. So over here, and I'm going to pull this back up. So we got 8 correct out of 10 in this unit. So of this portion, in these standards that we went over and we learned, I got 8 of those correct. Okay, so now I'm going to pull back up my calculator and I can do the math. So we're going to take the number correct, 8, divide it by the total number. And again, there's only 10 questions for unit 1. That's where that 10 comes from. And then we're going to multiply that by 100. So I'm going to pull up my calculator. I'm going to do 8 divided by 10, which will give us 0.8. And then I'm going to multiply that by 100% to get our overall percentage. And that's going to give us 80. So that means we scored and 80% on this portion of the test. Okay, so you're going to do that for the whole entire test. So that was just portion 1. So unit 2 covered, or questions 11 through 20 covered unit 2. So for 11 through 20, you'll do the same thing. You'll scroll through, and if you got any of them wrong, you will highlight them. And then at the end, you will count up how many you got correct, and you will divide that by how many are total. So for each one, there's 10 in here. There's 10 questions for unit 2. There were 10 questions for unit 3. And then finally for water, since we're not all the way through our water unit, there were only 5 questions, okay? So your job is to go through and complete this mastery analysis. Now, this isn't it. You're going to submit this for me so I can check over and make sure you did it correctly. But when you're done, you're going to open up this Google form, and you are going to put your information in the Google form. Okay, so this mastery analysis, it just needs your first and last name. You're going to tell me who your teacher is, because this video is for all the earth science students. And then you're just going to put the numbers from your midterm mastery analysis in the Google form. And this is going to help me make some charts for some data later. And I need you to do this Google form. So if you don't do the Google form, even if you submit this and do all this work, you're not getting credit for it, because I have to have this Google form completed. So for like our overall exam grade, we rounded it to an 83. So in this Google form, it says, what was your overall percentage on your midterm? You're just going to write 83. You don't have to put the percent sign. You just need to give me the number. 2 says, what was your percent mastery for the standards in unit 1? Well, here's unit 1. We did our calculation. We got an 80. And remember, 80 is mastery. So if you got above an 80 or above on any of the portions, you would have mastery. So then when you come down here, it will ask you what areas did you master. So we definitely mastered unit 1. And then if you got other, above an 80 or anything, if you got 100 on your midterm, this would be super easy, because the answers for everything would be 100%. And then it asks, what areas should you go back and review? Tell me which units you didn't master. So which units you got less than an 80 on, okay? And then after you submit that, you'll be able to submit both this document as well as your Google form, and then that'll help me create some data points for myself and for the other teachers, okay? It seems like a lot, but when you take it step by step, it's pretty easy. But if you have any questions, let me know. This does need to be done pretty quickly. I'll have the due date on the actual, the assignment so that you can see it. But my recommendation would just be to open this video and then do it step by step. Follow me as I'm going along. And then if you have any questions, let me know. Okay. I hope you guys